To the Gambia, as we look ahead in the years to come, is that the citizens need to be also more engaged. It's not just a vision of probably the leadership. The citizens need to be quite more engaged, seeking ways that they can really contribute more. And I believe that we are getting somewhere. And it's God's time for Africa. God wants to make Africa to gain a lot of momentum. And I believe that with that divine grace upon us and ourselves, putting our hearts together, we'll make good progress.
This day is a wonderful day for the Gambians. We all have to celebrate it because God has given us peace and stability and we are enjoying it. So there is nothing that I can say today but just to say thank you to God.
The Minister of Fisheries and Water Resources recently embarked on a tour of institutions and departments under his purview. Mas Aksigai visited the said offices and facilities to familiarize himself with conditions there and factors perturbing operations. Aisutumani tells us more.
The tour was primarily meant to keep the minister abreast with first-hand information in the fishing industry, as well as map out strategies geared towards boosting the standards of the sector in the country for sustainable livelihood. The first port of call was Brikama Fish Market, where the minister was received by the staff of the center. The principal fisheries officer at Brikama Fish Market explained that though they inherited a huge sum of debt, they try hard to maintain the payment of their staff, and as of now they used cash power to control their own electricity consumption. He, however, lamented the issue of drainage and lack of access to the center.
The transport that are supposed to come and discharge fish here cannot have easy access to the fish, to the ice room, or to come and get to store their fish. Secondly, consumers that have their vehicles, they cannot come and park conveniently at the fish market to buy fish.
Lamin Hajabojang, the chairman of Brikama Fish Market Committee, expressed delight with the visit of the minister, assuring him of their determination towards uplifting the status quo of the center.
We can say we can carry out our own repairs without borrowing money, because when we came in it was terrible. There was virtually nothing. All the largest account where we found less than $500, which was terrible after running the market for almost 2 years. And today we are proud to say we can settle our own problems, buy our own repairs, and carry out our duties. And we are paying the staff regularly.
Speaking at the Brikama Fish Center, Minister Aksigai said the creation of fish markets by the government of the Gambia is primarily to alleviate poverty, stressing that the staff and the management of the center should jealously guard the facilities for posterity. He challenged the management committee to use their expertise and serve the general public to the best of their ability.
Here again, I am comfortable with the team you have. I will be honest to tell you I am comfortable with the team you have. If only each and everyone would translate that activity for the development of this institution.
From Brikama, the minister and delegation proceeded to Gunjur Community Fishing Center, where they were received by the chief of Combo South. The village Alcalo welcomed the minister and the delegation and commended him for taking time to visit the centers. Speaking to Grts in Gunjur, the minister expressed hope that with the caliber of people at the helm of affairs of operation in the various centers visited, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. He said President Jammeh is very much concerned about the development of fishing projects, saying his ministry will strive even harder to make sure that the industry is enhanced for the livelihood of all Gambians, especially the rural poor.
Maintenance. Because without it, I mean, we cannot spend, government cannot spend such amount of money in this, like 11 million of government activity going pump into this and few people sit back and look at rot. It's not going to be possible under my leadership. What is going to happen is we're going to look into every sector of the fishing folk and make sure things done well.
In Gunjur, it is reported that the production capacity of ice for 24 hours is 10 tons maximum. 8 tons of fresh fish are distributed within the country on weekly basis. 7 tons of smoked fish are being transported into the country. Total number of fishermen stands at 379, out of which only 40% are Gambians. At Tanje, Minister Guy reiterated his ministry's resolve to work earnestly with the fisherfolk to boost up the industry for socio-economic development. In the same vein, he emphasized his ministry's commitment to implementing what he called comprehensive plans with all the centers in no too distant future. For Grts News, I am Esther Mane.
He was head of the billion-plus worldwide Catholic Communion during a time of turbulence characterized by scandals the Catholic Church does not want to be associated with. But now Pope Benedict XVI wants to retire. Last week's unexpected announcement sent reverberations far and wide. But how did Gambian Catholics receive news of the development that was last heard of some 600 years ago? Samuel Ba went to find out, and he prepared this report.
Pope Benedict XVI was elected to head the Roman Catholic Church in 2005 after the death of Pope John Paul II. He has since then set the pace for one of the world's leading religions, building on the solid foundation laid by his predecessor. The decision by His Holiness Pope Benedict XVI to resign later in February 28 this year came as unexpected announcement from the Vatican, ultimately raising concerns among many. The Catholic Diocese of Banjul fully respects and subscribes to such a decision by the Pontiff on the grounds of ill health, which may prevent him from living up to his task.
I fully respect and deeply admire the integrity and the courage that led him to do this. Such qualities were part and parcel of his leadership as Pope over the last 8 years, whether we agree or disagree with some of his decisions. In this case, it was his own personal conviction that he was simply unable to shepherd the flock due to physical and spiritual fatigue. The stamina that is required to respond to the multitude of issues that face any pope today has to be recognized.
After 600 years since the last Catholic pope made such a decision, clergies believe it is most appropriate that a pope of Benedict's standing has revived such a precedent for all future successors.
A leader with such a responsibility, you need to deliver. You need to perform, you need to carry out your roles and responsibilities as expected of you. And if ill health and age-wise you cannot do that, then it is best for you to step aside and allow somebody else to come in and carry on. Because it will be of no use, you know, if you know that you have such a responsibility, such a weighty responsibility, and you have such, you know, roles and things to carry out, especially spiritually, and you cannot fulfill them, then you are not doing justice to yourself.
He has created a precedence that when somebody cannot do what is expected of him or her, he or she should really tell the people that you have given me this, I can't do it anymore. So please forgive me, let me step down. You can't call it resignation. The news media is saying resignation, but it's not resignation. He is retreating because he will continue with the prayer life. He will continue with advising us. He will continue with helping us and guiding us.
However, for many Catholics, the Pope's decision was born out of personal and prayerful conviction that he is unable to head the church due to physical and spiritual fatigue.
He quite clearly mentioned that that the spirit was willing, but the body is no longer willing. And it's only reasonable for somebody to say that something of that nature, rather than trying to beat and cutting corners here when you know that at least to be a shepherd, definitely the body and the spirit must be willing to do the work. But where at his age now, he quite well realizes his weaknesses, though he's very strong in faith and spirit, but strength-wise, he thinks there are people who could better do the job. I think it is only fitting for a man of God to definitely give up the baton to somebody else to take over the mantle of leadership of the Catholic Church.
I was shocked